a lot. But what I'm going to show you when we see the Dapp is just how simple this all is. For those of you who really want to sink your teeth in and really understand the power of what Torus is, what the future might hold, and what this might mean for TitanX, you're going to want to dig into this and you're really going to want to find this out. But for those of you who really just want to figure out, how do I get a sweet ROI? Pay attention, but then watch for the Dapp. This is where the money is. But for staking, I'll keep it nice and simple. There's a 5% staking fee for staking, which means if you want to stake in TitanX or stake your Torus, it's not free. You have to pay. You have to contribute to the buy and burn. You have to contribute to the buy and build, and you have to contribute to the burning of TitanX as well. And this also gets more difficult over time, meaning it's more and more expensive to stake the same amount of Torus in the system. Now, without going too deep into the weeds of how expensive it is, essentially on day one to stake 1,000 tokens, it's going to cost 500 million TitanX for 88 days. If you want to stake shorter, it's going to cost even more. But this is effectively how the system works. It's pay to play, fair launch, no matter what. And there's more details in this if you guys want to come and learn a little bit more. But the other thing I want to talk about that's unique here is the early end stake feature. If you stake Torus longer than a day, you can end your stake at the 50% mark to guaranteed get back your principal. Once you go past the 50% mark, you're also going to get a bit of your yield that you've earned plus your principal. And all this is going to be in the Dapp. You're going to see your penalties. It's all laid out, so you never have to worry. And there's all sorts of examples here I have for you to understand this more. But for simplicity's sake, I'm going to keep it there. Now, earning Torus. This is honestly the crux of the whole system, is the share system and the Torus pool, which we're going to get into shortly. But the share system is like borrowing from what we've seen in TitanX, what we've seen in Hex. And this is what actually allows the system to look at stakers and creators to then pay them based on who has the most shares. Okay, so that's how staking and creating can come together and be utilized as basically two doors to the same earning point together. Now, I'm not going to go into the math for all this because this is not the stream for that. But I want you guys to understand that when you're staking, you're getting shares in the system, which makes you earn. When you're creating, you're getting shares in the system, which makes you earn. And based on where the Torus price is, based on TitanX, these two mechanics are more or less favorable than one another. And the reason this actually can even happen is through the Torus pool. Now, the Torus pool is its like own independent supply issuing entity where every single day it's going to issue tokens on a declining scale to whoever has shares in the system. What this means is when people finish their creations or their stakes, the shares are removed. What does that do to the system? It pumps the ROI because there's less shares, and there's a higher ROI for the shares that are still in the system, which means every time people's shares come out, the ROI is going to spike, and it's going to cause people to have to make a decision to either give up the ROI they could have or leave with what they've already received. And it's going to cause this constant perpetual demand into Torus via creating or staking based on market sentiment, which is truly the first of its kind. And I'm really, really excited to see this thing play out. Now, we've already talked about the TitanX and ETH distribution. So we'll go over it just shortly here. 84% buy and burn, 8% buying and building the liquidity pool, 4.31% goes to TitanX buying and burning, and 3.69% goes to Genesis, which is a no expectations address. I'll keep that nice and simple for now. And the last thing I want to touch on here is the grace period. There's a 14-day grace period with all creations and all stakes. Now, when you get past that period, there's a 7-day window where every day 14.28% of your earned Torus only, not your principal, is going to be removed. And this is going to be redistributed to the people that are staking. But 50% of all penalties from early end staking, from going into the penalty period of going past your creation or stake, 50% of those penalties are going to be burned, which makes Torus even more deflationary than actually is even what's in the white paper here. So I'm going to pause there. And to all you guys who are here with me that have, been so gracious to bear with my my monologue there, any thoughts, any questions before we go into the testnet reveal?
Nothing from my end, man. I'd be interested to see how this rolls up into the front end, because it's a lot of design on the back end, but I think when we see it on the front ends, it will kind of come together and make sense.
Mm-hmm. 100%. Utah, James, any thoughts?
Yeah, I like a lot of things I hear there. You know, burning half of the penalties, and I think just like Eric, I'd like to see how this thing looks. I fully believe that whatever you have built has been really thought through and talked with advisors and other experts. You know, I can't imagine how many people you've run this through, and I'm sure it's going to be very, very powerful. That's why I'm up late, and that's why I've joined. And that's why I'm streaming to our channels. I'm streaming to my JC Tech Future and to our protocol channel. So to help you out.
I appreciate that. I appreciate the words. I'm really excited. I really can't wait to show you, because like I said, there's so much information in this white paper. But in a couple moments here, when I bring up the front end, it's going to be just so simple to understand. So, I mean, before I do that, Utah, any thoughts, any comments?
Send it.
Let's do it. All right. Before we go into the testnet, I want to see who in the chat's excited. I want to see you guys spam the chat. Give me your most hype comment in the chat. Once I see the chat blowing up, then we're gonna open up the Dapp here. But I want to see some excitement here. And I know there's always the stream delay, so we'll have to wait a few seconds before people start chiming in. Hopefully, people play along. But just a quick comment while we're waiting too. The amount of people that actually contributed to this system coming to life, this wasn't my creation in the sense of like, I could never say I'm solely responsible for Torus. Every single I've talked to, like Eric, Jake, the amount of people that were even, I know on a personal level, to run things by, and just that literally said to me, oh, I'm just a pleb, I'm just a user, I have no idea, but maybe this would be it. Maybe we should consider this. Helped shape Torus beyond anything I could have ever imagined. And so this is a collective effort, really, that happened to come through my brain, and just I put it all down together. But it's really a collective effort. And I really want to shout out everyone that had a small piece of that or a large piece, because it's all been massive. So thank you to everyone that I've ever had conversations with. But I'm done monologuing. I see everyone's getting excited. I'm beyond excited. So let's do this. Okay. Let's do it. You guys ready?
Do it.
I present to you the Torus Dapp. This is truly how simple it's going to be. You're going to come to the Dapp. And by the way, if you go to Torus.win, you can go right now into the Torus, the white paper. So Torus.win, read the white paper. There's a testnet page on there. You follow the instructions. You're going to need Sepolia ETH. You'll be able to actually play with this starting right now. So here's how Torus works. Remember everything we just talked about. There's all the shares, and there's the staking, and there's creation, and there's all this difficulty stuff going on. Here's what you have to do. You show up on the day when mainnet goes live, and you look at this tab here where it says create or stake. See this ROI? All we want to do is we're going to go over and we're going to click the stake button here. Oh, look at that. Creating is a bigger ROI. Okay, I want to create. That's as simple as Torus is. You don't have to know anything. All you have to do is come to this page, look at the ROI between the creation and the staking, and make a decision based on what you're seeing here. That is really as simple as it is. And this as well is going to have a lot of updates. We're going to have some, actually, I'm going to let those updates creep in, because it's just going to make this thing better. But I really wanted this to be as simple as possible. I wanted it to be as beautiful as possible, which is why we have the big rotating Torus in the background. And there are more things that are going to come as well here. But it's as simple as you create a stake or create a creation. All your data is going to be down here. It's going to show you your principal, your ROI, the shares, and there's even going to be a share button as well. So what you guys will see is that you're going to be able to, just like the early days of TitanX, you're going to be able to share your ROI, which is going to show the amount of days that you've served, amount of days remaining on social media. And everything is made to be plain and simple. Your penalties are going to be shown. If you have a stake that you're early ending, it will show you the penalties that you are going to take before you end the stake, so you know exactly what you're going to receive in principal, exactly what you're going to receive from what you've earned. and so on and so forth. It's really that simple. There's a batch claim button. And if we go to the creation side, it's the exact same thing. You can share. There's the claimable creations, ended creations, and you're going to have the contract address down here, as well as there's the burn page, which is going to have the buy and burn with a buy and burn for ETH and a buy and burn for TitanX. You have the buy and build contracts, and you'll have the fractal balance. That's going to be here as well. And finally, you're going to have the stats page, which every single day that you're going to come here, you're going to see the next day's Torus pool payout that you're going to be able to get a piece of when you're creating or when you're staking. The supply dynamics are all going to be here. This emblem is going to show up as soon as there is supply. All the stats are going to be here. And we'll see. Maybe there's another dashboard that comes up in the future as well with deeper stats for creation, statistics, shares, stakes, all that stuff. But it's crazy that all of what I was saying previously, the 15 or 20 minutes or so, all boils down to this little simple, which ROI is bigger? And you click here. And as you can see here, the staked Torus is the same amount as the created Torus, which makes sure the system shows you which one is actually better. And that's it. That's it, guys. This is the Torus app. It was designed to be this simple. I'd love to hear your thoughts, because for me, when I see this, I love the purple, the gold, the simplicity of it all. And I hope it really conveys and embodies what Torus is all about as well. So I would love to hear anything you guys have to say. I'm going to go into the chat as well and see what everyone's commenting, but I'll give you guys the floor first. I'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, it looks beautiful, man. It's got to be one of the best designs built on TitanX apps for sure. You might be taking the crown from Ascendant here because it looks really good. You and Ascendant are neck and neck for best design for sure. It's beautiful. I love the animation.
Thank you. Shout out to Ascendant because Ascendant's Dapp is beautiful as well. So to be even mentioned up with them, I appreciate that. They've done an amazing job.
What is a Torus? Can you explain that?
Yeah, I love this question. It doesn't get asked enough. So a Torus is I'll do the more simplistic overview. Now, if you look at a magnetic field, there's a video that I shared a long time ago, back in the early days, but a torus is in reference to a toroidal field, an electromagnetic toroidal field that goes around and around and around and around and around. It's also has to do with the electromagnetic field that the human body is within as well. But the torus is a symbol for oneness, and we're all part of something so much greater. And it's also a symbol for the compounding machine, the around and around and around compounding monster that Torus is, as well as an intrinsic part of all of us that also connects all of us, which is the torus and the toroidal fields. And you can actually see this in real time. There's some really cool videos that I posted early on where there's a guy who had a magnet, a circular magnet, and placed this in what's called a ferrule cell using LED lights. And you could actually see the magnetic field of that magnet, and it looked exactly like the Torus emblem that's on this Dapp. And that's why this is what it is, and it's an expression of like my own personal beliefs and kind of where I'm at and what I want to move into later on in my life, and right now as well. So it's kind of a multifaceted expression of a lot of things.
Beautiful. Thank you, man.
Of course, my pleasure. Thanks for the question.
When did you kind of first, just giving a little bit of background here, I hope I'm not running over the same concepts, but when did you first kind of decide to, because I know we were talking almost a year ago, and you were considering multiple different paths, but you ultimately decided on this. And why did you decide to make that movement to being a founder?
Well, it's actually funny because I was, for a while there, if you guys were following even somewhat of my YouTube channel, I was going through a bit of a phase of like, I don't know about this whole crypto YouTuber thing, man. Like, yeah. I don't know, bro. And I don't know. I think I was in a place when I was going through that where I wasn't being creative. I was just reporting. I'm not a reporter. I'm a very creative guy. Yeah. I'm very driven, but it's, when I get involved in something, I get energized, but I wasn't getting really involved. I was kind of like a sidelined, like mouthpiece, so to speak, for different ecosystems. And I'll have to go back and I'll have to shout out whoever asked me this question, but someone asked me, what would you like to see built on TitanX? And I think you'll remember this, Eric, because we had this conversation a while ago about, I wanted to build this like call option on TitanX, looking at what the ETH, when the ETH was coming in, all this crazy stuff. And it kind of became this thing where I didn't even realize I was actually going to build something until I gave up on this idea. And I shipped it off to this chat and I was like, guys, you can have it. I don't know what I'm going to do with this. It's too expensive to build. I don't think it's going to work. But you guys might be able to make something of it. And I gave up on it. And the moment I sent it into the chat, the idea came for Torus to complete it, to make it what it is now. And I had simultaneously been making this sub ecosystem. I was like, if I was to rebuild TitanX, what would I do? And so I had this Torus protocol that was the core of it. I had ESP, which is kind of like a Dragon X, the external staking protocol. I had Logos and Eros, which were the call and put options. And then I also had, I think I had one other, a Sol protocol, which was more to do with mining. So it's very like, that was my theme. But I knew, I was like, all right, okay, well, I'm never going to build this whole ecosystem because it's like kind of like a TitanX clone. And then this came along, and then the name Torus stuck in my head. I was like, oh yeah, I remember I made this protocol called Torus. So I grabbed that, slapped it on, found the logo that I remember sending you as well early on, Eric. And it was just like, wow, okay, this is it. And then lo and behold, months and months later, here we are. We actually have a real thing. I still kind of can't believe that this is actually out there in the open now. And it's just testnet, but it's come this far.
I love that, man. Yeah, it's like, I feel the same way. I would not be in crypto if I couldn't build stuff. You know, it just wouldn't be the thing for me. I have to put something out, or I just get bored of it. You know, so I totally understand that, and I connect with that aspect of it, that element of it. What was the most difficult part for you? Was it the design? Was it the like executing on the UI? What part of the building process was the most difficult for you?
It was definitely the design, because there was so many points where, like I said, I gave up because I was like, this is not going to work. It's broken. It's not, I don't know what to do here. You know, and I would and I would have a breakthrough of like, oh, I think I know what it is. Okay, it's this. And then I would have a conversation with Jake or have a conversation with someone else, and they'd be like, yeah, no, it's broken, bro. It's not going to work. Okay. And it was definitely, the building was definitely the hardest. The second hardest was literally just waiting and getting this thing built and getting organized and being like, we're so close. And then it just delays and delays and delays. But ultimately it's been perfect. I mean, I'm quite thankful that the timing has been what it is. So everything I think has been perfect, and it's all exactly as it needs to be, you know? So I wouldn't have had it been executed any differently.
I see where you arrived at the design, and I remember the original UI and how much you've improved it. And you know, that's really impressive, man, because it's a very simple UI, and it consolidates all those concepts down to like a few easy actions for the user, which is impressive, especially since it's like your first product, right? So like, I'm really impressed, man.
I appreciate
it's
that.
Fantastic.
I really appreciate
it's not
that.
easy to make something simple, man, you know?
No. Well, you had a hand in this too, because, you know, early on you had some really critical feedback to the Dapp. You know, the designer is absolutely incredible. I've got the guys I'm working with now with Build the Tech there. They've been instrumental in this as well. Like, I've had so many people have imperative input on this to make it what it is, that again, I can't take any credit as this being my own. This is a collective effort of a group of people that have all had some really important input here. So I just have nothing but gratitude for being able to have been connected with you and all you guys and everyone that's had any say in feedback on Torus. So that's all I can say on that front.
I've been waiting for you to build something for a long time, because when I was watching, when I had more time before I was a builder, I used to say, this guy's so freaking smart. What am I missing something? Has he already built something out here that I'm just not seeing? So I'm not surprised that you've done it, and that's really why I'm heavily supporting you, because I feel this is going to be very powerful. I just feel it. So
I really appreciate that. I really do. It's been a long journey. It's cool I'm sure we all can relate to, like, you know, you never expect to be a builder, you know, in this space. You kind of just join and you're volatile as hell, being dragged around by the price charts. And then all of a sudden you find yourself on a panel with a bunch of other guys that are all built, and you're joining. It's a weird thing, man, but it's really cool. And I'm thankful to be building on TitanX first, because you guys, all of you have been so supportive of the whole community as well as to what I'm building as well. So it's pretty thankful to be a part of the TitanX ecosystem and to be able to launch Torus alongside so many other great protocols that are already here. So shout out to you, James. Shout out to you, Eric. Shout out to you, Utah, and all the other builders and everyone else in the space that's a part of TitanX. So I appreciate that, though. I really do.
I love how you've, just like you said, it's very complicated on the back end, but it's super simple on the front end. And that's the goal, right? You just want it to be, appealing to the eye. You want it to be very simple and straightforward. And the user doesn't need to know about all that stuff that really happens in the background unless they really want to. And then they can go and read the white paper and understand how all of that works. But yeah, nice job. It looks really, really clean. I love it.
Thank you, man. Really appreciate that. There's a couple of things I want to point out here too for the people. I think one thing to do now is for everyone that wants to play in testnet, a couple of things. Now, if you go to Torus.win, you're going to see the white paper there. Please go play. Please try and break the damn thing. We've tried our hardest. We've done everything we can to break it. We've stopped being able to break it. So please go finish the job or confirm that we've done everything perfectly. One of the two. But at Torus.win, there's going to be the instructions. What I would highly recommend is when you're playing with anything on testnet, just start a fresh new wallet. There's links in the docs to get Sepolia ETH. You're going to have to mine it if you don't have any already. I have all the links already there. And as you can see on the top right, there is a mint TitanX button. You're going to be able to mint. I think it's 1 trillion per mint, which is going to make things go a little bananas. But it'll be interesting to see with that much TitanX being played with, kind of what happens here. But it's all going to be plain and simple out in the open for you guys. So let me just touch on here. Axiom X has a question here. Can you touch a bit on the launch timing at this point in the cycle? I'm going to assume you're talking about just the timing of launch relative to the cycle here. Like I said, I can't say I timed it perfectly. If I could have timed it perfectly, I would have, but I can't take credit for that. It's really just been, the way it's worked out. And if things keep going the way they're going, it's going to be absolutely perfect. Now, the one thing I want to say is for Torus to launch, we need, testnet's now out. So this is like one of the most pivotal steps that we need done. We also need the audits to come back, which they're in motion right now. They should come back this week. We should find out what we need to about any changes or if they're good to go. But the third thing, this is for everyone watching, all 340 of you. If you're not already, you need to jump into the Torus Telegram. And here's why. Even if you never participate in the Telegram, the goal is to hit 1,000 members before Torus goes live. That's to make sure there's enough participation, enough people actually interested in playing ball in Torus. So it actually has the most impact it can on the TitanX ecosystem and for Torus as well. So I'll put this in the comments here. So it's t.me/Torus.win. And even if you go and you mute the notifications, I don't care. If you never, ever show up in the Torus Telegram, great. But if you could show your support by joining the Telegram so we can see how many people are actually interested, that would be incredible. And also after this, there is going to be a voice chat in the Torus Telegram as well for anyone that wants to play with the Dapp, ask questions, get familiar, ask more questions about Torus, and really just dig in. I'll be in there as long as we need to for the rest of today to really get you guys educated and up to speed on everything to do with Torus. So again, Torus.win for all the documentation, all the steps. What's really cool about this is if Torus does its job and it really helps bring in demand into the ecosystem, you're going to see Baby Dragon X pump. You're going to see Dragon X pump. You're going to see Inferno pump. You're going to see everything pump with it because the demand's coming in. And what that means is one thing driving demand in drives demand for everything else. So I would say, I think we need to start coining the term again. You don't have enough TitanX. I think we're getting to that phase again where we're getting into the you don't have enough TitanX phase. And I mean that when you guys understand what all these systems do combined to the TitanX supply in this next phase, you really don't have enough. We saw a couple 100x pumps with Baby Dragon X and Dragon X, and my sense is we haven't seen the last. So
yeah, I'd like to jump in here if possible. Um, uh, yeah, it's quite amazing. I mean, it's when it goes down, everything goes down, but when it goes up, look out. And we've seen it time and time again, and we just saw it recently. And I believe that was just like not even an appetizer, like one hors d'oeuvre, you know what I mean, on a tray in my perspective. Um, and I'd like to go back to your launch timing, the launch timing question. And I remember you specifically saying, I'm not in a rush to launch this. I want it to be perfect. When it's ready, it's ready. And that's when I'll launch it. And you had that attitude. And then here we are, you know, in the timing looks pretty good, man. It's looking like it's shaping up to be pretty good. So that kind of stuck with me, that you said whenever it's ready, I'll do it or whatever, because there's pressure when you're a builder. There's pressure when you're looking at charts and you're looking at markets. When do I want to launch this? Is this the right time? The community's screaming, when launch, all these different things, all these external factors are all coming at you from all angles. And then, when you just surrendered that and said, you know what, when it's ready and I'll launch it. And it looks like that's going to work, that attitude's going to work out for you, man. I just think that's very cool. I love it.
thanks, man. Really appreciate that. Well, and I learned from you guys too, because I've watched you guys have to weather the storm of the social pressure, like activate buy-in burns, do this, do that, And so watching you guys really weather that storm and do, what you guys think is best individually for your protocols has been really inspiring. Like, oh yeah, okay, you can just hold strong, stick to what you think is right, and things will work out. So, I mean, like I said before, I've been so lucky to learn from all you guys. It's really been a blessing. So I'm curious now, I appreciate you guys all hanging with me for Torus, but I'm really curious. Let's talk about Titan X now for a second. I want to bring in your guys' protocols, what you're excited for, where you think we're at in the cycle. I mean, Eric, you're obviously bullish as hell because you've got the Dragon X chart already up behind you. So you're, I have a feeling I know where your head's at. But yeah, guys, let's go in. How do you guys feel about the ecosystem right now? Where are things going? What are you excited about? And also, too, if you're building anything, let's talk about it.
Where to begin, man? I mean, it's been absolutely brutal few months, and now we're finally seeing the other side of it, and it's been tough on the community for sure. I think those people that are left at this point, they're reaping the benefits of that. It hasn't been easy, man. I remember in March, things weren't going so well, and since then it's really turned around. I can feel the sentiment coming back. I can see more engagement. I've noticed on my X account, I'm getting a lot more views and likes again. I'm getting more followers again. And yeah, I think it's going to be very bright for Dragon X over the next few weeks, as you know. But that's all coming, and I think this is ultimately going to be one of the catalysts that pushes Titan X back into green candle territory. Like, you only need a few good protocols to kick things off again, man. And I think this is one of them for sure. So I'm super excited about it. And yeah, just seeing the founders that stuck around, that kept building and kept sticking with their stuff, it's impressive, because these kind of dips are where people are basically made. You see people when they're in the hardest moments. That's when you see who they are. And I think that you sticking around, Steve and Utah and James and everybody still being here, those are the people that really care about it and want this thing to succeed and are fighting for this thing to succeed. And you've been a big part of that, man. So like, having your protocol launch at this time is just perfect. Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to this. And looking at Ethereum, like, I don't know what you guys think about it, but I think it was pretty oversold there. If you follow Benjamin Cohen's stuff, he's been talking about Ethereum going home for months, going down to that 1600, 1500 level, which seemed impossible. I certainly didn't think it was possible for it to go that low, but it did. And that was a shock, man. That was a real shock. Everyone was declaring Ethereum dead, but behind the scenes, you were seeing BlackRock buy billions of dollars of Ethereum. You were seeing the institutions move. I was looking at the BlackRock Build Fund, which is a real world asset fund that was putting $1 billion on chain. Almost at the exact bottom, these guys started to ramp up, putting treasury securities on chain at the rate of about $1 billion a month. exactly, almost exactly at the bottom. So these guys are really good, and they tricked a lot of retail into thinking Ethereum was dead when it couldn't be further from the truth. And we're very lucky to be building on ETH. So I mean, we might go down again. We might retrace back down to like 2K or something like that. Um, but I think that we're kind of out of the woods now, in a way. What do you think?
Well, I want to hear from James in Utah.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't think any of us saw this happening with Ethereum, right? This far into the cycle and it being so low, brutal, just absolutely brutal. And I mean, especially like because we launched Blaze, right? And Blaze has pools with Ethereum in it. So I mean, it directly affects us. It directly affects the ROI on everything. So I can't believe how fast it moved. And I just can't believe how hard it moved and how fast it moved. And I think it's the PTSD because I was like, I was in the disbelief phase, right? Like, oh, this ain't real. This is going to retrace. There's no way, because I've been let down by Ethereum for years now, it seems like. And yeah, I'm blown away how fast it happened and how it's holding. I'm still expecting a bit of a retracement because it seems like after all those, it's literally been years of pain. And it seems like that was way too fast and way too easy once we got to this little point where it started moving. So I guess maybe I'm still a little bit in the disbelief stage, but I'm not complaining. I'm excited for it. There's a lot of Ethereum in Titan X. I mean, that can be used for buy pressure. And so it's a big deal for us to see Ethereum start to move. And Bitcoin dominance dropped off a little bit and started going down. And I was like, oh man, what's going on here? Are we on? Are we going here? So yeah, really excited. It's been extremely tough. Our ecosystem got hit. I mean, when you're talking about small cap stuff like we're involved in, why are we here? A lot of it is the volatility to the upside because when stuff like this moves, it moves. But that volatility to the downside when you're holding bags in these kinds of eco can be extremely difficult. I'm really curious what Jake's doing with X28. And so I've been going back and watching. Went back and watched his last stream a few times now. And the crazy part about it is if you go and you watch that last stream and you look at all the people that are on the panel on that stream, there's like 6 people on that stream with them. And like most of those people aren't even here now. It was like, whoa, it was that brutal. And but I've been watching it, try to pick up some clues on what he's got going on and what he's gonna do. And I really believe that I'm a huge believer in X28. I don't see Jake building an omni-chain token and then just leaving it there and not doing anything with it. And he told us, on that stream that he has plans for it now. It's been a couple months, so who knows what those plans are now. Things move fast in crypto. But yeah, I'm super excited for Titan X. I love this community. In my real life, I'm blessed because my 2 best friends are in crypto. They got me in. And so it's cool, that I can talk crypto with them. But like anybody else, outside of that little circle, they have no clue. You know what I mean? I can't even talk to these people. They don't, whatever. But when I come in Titan X, it's like I get to talk to everybody that thinks a lot like me about crypto and how our financial system, the legacy one is broken, and it is broken, and how the plan that our governments have laid out for us for retirement and working and things like that, like their design, that's not my design. That's their design. And we just go with it because it's all we know. Anyway, sorry to go off on such a tangent here, but it feels good to be on stream with you guys again, man. I miss this. I miss these days. So yeah, let's bring it back.
It's been a long time, man. Like it's been a long time since we started firing up the streams again. It's bullish actually. It's been months.
You know, Eric, I remember that marathon stream you did with, and Mike Dean either was half in, he was in there for most of it or half of it. It was like 5 hours or three to 5 hours. And I remember you saying, you talking so much about Dragon X. Hey, you don't have enough Dragon X. You can't imagine what's going to be happening. And I was like, I wonder, I mean, obviously you're my mentor. You helped us, the tokenomics and Baby Dragon X, you did most of the improvements for us. I am so blessed to have actually listened. And because I didn't have a regular job, I didn't have like a day job at that time. I slid a few $1,000s over and, went in big, and it did it. It was just unbelievable. It was unbelievable. And then, of course, the Baby Dragon X story and all that kind of thing. The reason I have never gone bearish ever since 2021 is because I first got in crypto in 2017, but I don't count that because I bought less than a couple $1,000s of Bitcoin and ETH and didn't do much with it, just held it. I built a play to earn guild, right? One of the gaming guilds in 2021. If I would have, taken profits in there, I would have another digit on my net worth. But that didn't matter. I've seen what happens when great protocols are built, when great ecosystems are built, and when credible people are doing things. You can't be bearish. And I go to these events, these Token 2049 events. Last one I got to finally meet Eric in person, which was very, very cool. I just got back from Token 2049 Dubai. I'm going to CoinFest Asia Bali. You know what? When you are around people, you can't, there's just no bearish. I literally have not been bearish one day since, I would say, July of 2021, because that's when I started the Play to Earn Guild. I've not been bearish, not even a little bit.
Well, if you're listening to the right people, you'll know that crypto was never dead ever during any of this.
Yeah.
And then most of the really intelligent people in analyzing crypto, it's basically a foregone conclusion that Bitcoin will hit $1 million at this point. It just doesn't make sense for it not to hit 1 million, and then by 2028. It's based on everything. The confluence of factors is just too strong now.
And
so it's actually quite sad.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you. I'm on a lag.
Go for it.
I was going to say I am right there with you, because at that point it flips gold in market cap, right? Yeah, very possible.
Gold would probably also go up a lot, but
yeah, it will. It will. There'll be a race. There'll be a race.
Yeah.
Isn't that so wild that that, and that's the consensus. That's like the consensus now. Bitcoin to $1 million. And it's like, holy crap. It was like, before people were saying Bitcoin to 100K, and it was like a whatever. Yeah, right. And now it's like, it's just everyone's accepted that it's going to $1 million just like that. It's wild.
It's becoming
if you kind of zoom out, yeah. If you zoom out and think about it, why would you bet against the digitization of society in general? And it's just because of the volatility that people get so depressed. But it's kind of obvious this has been happening since the inception of the internet. Is things are getting more and more digitized. So why wouldn't wealth get more digitized? And if you look at the demographics and who has the money, none of us have the money compared to the baby boomers. They have 80% of the wealth. And as they expire and pass their wealth down, you're going to be transferring that to a group of people who never had an opportunity to buy a house. And they could barely afford college. They have to finance their cars, right? So what they did was they went into extremely risky assets at the edge of the risk curve to try to make up for that inability to have access to traditional financial assets and the American dream. And so we went into crypto. But now all the wealth is going to come down to this generation of people. And that's going to be a massive shift of wealth into crypto. And that's why I think Bitcoin goes to $1 million. At least, plus all of the printing, and there's way smarter people than me that cover this, like Arthur Hayes, Ralph Hall, and all these guys. And it's kind of obvious, I guess. It just never felt obvious. I guess we were just too close to it, but yeah, I think definitely Bitcoin to 1 million.
Can somebody clip that? That was amazing. Like I can't articulate. Like I have a hard time putting into words what you just said. I'm not a boomer. I'm a Gen Xer, but I'm 52, and I can completely identify. Because I mean, I caught the tail end. I was able to buy a home. My cars are paid for. I have a good career, things like that. And I've always had side businesses. I just have that hustle gene. You know, I always like to build stuff, work on stuff, do these kinds of things. But yeah, this younger generation, they don't stand a chance. You have to go high risk. I mean, how else are you going to make it? I mean, it's absolutely, it's designed for the normal working class people not to be able to make it. You know, you put it into words very well. Thank you. Hey, Mike.
Hey, Mike. So first of all, can I say just two quick things? So first of all, the Baby Dragon X Adventure team is going to use Opus and McCrae clips. I hope that we capture that, Eric. Our guy is pretty good at that. So I hope we're able to capture what you said because it was eloquent. It was very eloquent. So we were hoping to do that. No cost, cryptographics. Don't worry. We're not going to charge you. We won't send you a bill. No.
I just forwarded it to Eric anyways because it's good marketing for him in Dragon X because the charts in the background.
Yeah, it is. So I'd like to say just two quick facts. So the first fact, there can only be ever 21 million Bitcoin. Quite a bit of that is in wallets that are locked and lost and all that kind of things. And I just checked. So Google says that there are 58 million millionaires in the world. I have a personal friend with 100 Bitcoin. 100. So, I mean, he's already got 100 of them. That's one guy. And then you've got MicroStrategy. Have they broken 900,000 yet? I mean, they've got 900,000 Bitcoin, right? So if you don't see it, I'm not sure what else anybody can tell you. I'm not sure. So that was all I wanted to say. And welcome, Mike.
Yeah, welcome, Mike.
Hey guys, sorry I was a bit late. I had to take care of something with Kanye here. Sorry.
Is it Kanye West? I mean, is that what you're talking about?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, they're buddies now. You didn't know they're buddies now? They're chummy.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw this, but Kanye tagged Mike Dean last night on Twitter in a post.
Oh man, it was beautiful, man. I mean, I was just about to go to sleep, and then suddenly my phone is like vibrating like crazy, and I was like, "What is going on?" And then I check, it's like, why did Kanye tag me? Well, here we are.
Oh, it's incredible.
You might get backstage, or what previews of the next songs. Get on the, they party on those yachts. These. It's a different level. Let us know how it goes, Mike. Let us know. Remember us when you get there.
Definitely. I think he's in Mallorca in Spain right now. So I mean, hey man, Kanye, one DM away, man. I'll fly in there very quickly. Also, anyway, guys, a bit of fun.
Oh, it's awesome. I actually didn't know you were a music producer as well, so that's good to know because he shouted you out for the song. So, man, kudos to you. You're a talented dude.
A man with many talents, I'll tell you that.
A robot with many talents, yeah. Oh man. Well, man, I don't even know where to go from here. I'm still kind of what would I want to do here before we head out, because I want to take a little bit of a break before we go to this Telegram voice chat that I'm going to be on probably for the rest of the evening. What I want to do is I want to bring up the Dapp again. And if anyone has any questions, that way I can, Mike can see the Dapp one final time here, so it doesn't have to catch the replay. And also, if anyone has any questions, or if you guys have any questions as well here up on the panel, that would be great as well. But we'll do maybe another 5 or 10 minutes of talk on Torus, and then I'll give you guys the mic to show whatever you want that you're working on, whatever you're excited about, and then we'll all head out if that's cool.
I just want to, I think, James, you mentioned earlier regarding MicroStrategy, how much Bitcoin they have. I think you said 900,000. They're not there yet exactly. They're around 555,000 right now.
Really?
How much are they at? Sorry?
Yeah, I think 555,000, something like that. That's the count they have right now.
I mean,
It's a good leverage play for Bitcoin, by the way. You know, it's like MicroStrategy is like the Dragon X.
Yeah.
Leverage play on Bitcoin itself.
It's a pretty insane amount of BTC to think about, honestly. 550,000 Bitcoin.
It's nuts, man.
Oh my God. So let me go scroll back in the chat here. I'll start with this one. How many trillions TitanX do you expect to track in the first day? I don't know. But what I would like to do is I'd like to pose it to you guys. What do you guys have any thoughts about what we might see coming into Torus on maybe let's go first. Let's go first day and first week. What are you guys thinking?
To me, it just depends on the ROI, right? When you're going first day, first week. So it just depends. I don't know how much liquid TitanX is out there right now. And I don't know. You might bring in new users though, because you do have reach with some other communities in that. So we might get some other people outside of TitanX, which would be completely awesome. And I think right now, I mean, I don't know. As far as guessing a number, who knows, man? What you don't have one. So what do we say? A trillion? A trillion the first week?
I'm going to say a little bit higher. I say in the first week, I'd like to put out so much marketing that it brings in about 5 to 10 trillion.
Oh wow.
That's my hope is to go hard, because I'm going to be putting out tutorials. I have 4 streams booked this week. And that's only going to grow because now the testnet's out. People are going to be able to play with it. There's going to be the ROIs being shared around. People are going to be able to do videos on it and review it. Now the real fun starts, which is why I haven't been doing as much. But I think if we can make, because with the 1,000 people in the Telegram, with the amount of marketing that I can personally do, with the amount of virality, even if it's on a micro scale of people talking about it, I think there's a good chance we could bring in a lot. And if it's not 5 to 10 trillion TitanX, I think it would be the equivalent in combination of TitanX and ETH is my goal to bring this in. If that's an ETH as well, that's amazing, because that's probably new users, which is honestly, just as good, if not kind of better in its own respect. So that's a goal. So we'll see what happens, but my goal is to hit that.
That's a great goal. I'm sorry if I insulted you.
It's all good.
I apologize for that.
What happened is when you said that, I realized, wait, I do have a number, and it's not that one.
Yeah, because at first you said you didn't have a number, but you know what? I like your number better, right? We win together here. So yeah, 10 trillion. Exactly. Let's go.
Let's go. Guys, any thoughts?
I like that 5 trillion number. Sounds good to me.
Yeah, you take 5 to 10 trillion out of supply. Oh my. Unbelievable things will happen, not just for Torus. Unbelievable things will happen. It'll be a ripple effect. It'll be like throwing a very large boulder into a very small pond.
That's what I'm thinking as well. That's exactly what I'm thinking. So,
are you doing a separate launch for Unity? Are you talking about Unity now, or how are you doing that?
I mean, I'm openly talking about Unity. It's coming. Unity is probably not going to be too far after Torus, and it's going to launch on PLSX. No connection to Torus. Torus has no connection to Unity. They're completely separate. But yeah, Unity is Torus. Different colors, different theme, built on PLSX. Both built on deflationary assets. They're very different with the underlying asset on how they burn, their valuation, what they're all about. But, they're my 2 ecosystems that are my bread and butter, like Pulse Chain. I was born and raised in crypto on Pulse Chain. And then I found my home, so to speak, in TitanX, where I really connected with the most people. But yeah, Unity is coming not long after. It's only a fork away. And from the devs, it's about a 2-week job after Torus is done to get everything done, plus maybe some time for, one more audit, because it'll be at that point triple or quadruple audited code with the singular audit for the small changes that need to be made for PulseX. And then it can go live anytime. I might do a testnet to really get people going, but yeah, Unity is coming as well.
Great.
Mike, predictions on first day, first week?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the 5 to 10 trillion, it sounds really awesome. It's amazing. So I guess as long as the ROI stays that high, I think could definitely be possible. And I'm looking forward to that. I'll tell you that. So if you hit the 10 trillion first week, damn, that would be crazy. I don't know what would be the comparison you could do. I think maybe Hydra probably is something like related to this somewhat. Is that maybe Hypo Hydra? Eric, how much did Hydra bring the first week? Do you know?
It was 7 million USD at the time, I think.
7 million USD. Okay.
I can't remember the amount of Hydra actually, or the amount of
I think it was
Titan
around
X
15 trillion. I think it was around.
15 trillion.
Yeah.
15
yeah.
trillion. Oh, man.
Mhm.
I think
Yeah,
first week or
crazy.
two was almost 20.
Yeah.
Massive.
Yeah. Hey, I mean,
Yeah.
Mackenzie just put in Volt got 31 trillion that came into the system.
Wow,
Damn.
massive.
So, I mean, it's there, potentially. But the thing that separates, so let me talk about the ROI a little bit. The way the ROI works is going to be very, very different. Whereas on one hand, people are going to want to, go in with Titan X and ETH, right? When this ROI here that we're looking at on screen is really high, right? The people are going to want to come in here. But as more people come in, the ROI gets squeezed. But there's some mechanics at play here which allow for a lot of economic energy to come in, and for the ROI to maintain a fairly decently high level in the hundreds of percent, especially at current prices. But what happens is, let's say the price of Torus was to tank. This staking ROI would stay moderately flat. So you could see a creation ROI of negative 90%, and you could see a staking ROI of literally 90%, which changes everything, because now you have this system where when the ROI is high and people dump and they leave the system, they're opening the door, which drives demand into the price of Torus for that staking ROI, which eventually drives the ROI back up for creations, starting that major flywheel again. And what I haven't seen many people talk about yet is if you do the math on what happens with staking over time. The one thing I talked about a little bit in the white paper is the staking costs, right? So 500 million Titan X to stake 1,000 Torus on day one. What happens is 500 million allows you to stake less and less and less and less and less Torus over time. And what that means is there's a certain ratio that begins to emerge where for every, let's say, 500 Torus or 100 Torus or 200 Torus, you can bring in 500 million Titan X into the system for staking, right? That makes sense, right? Because to stake relative to the creation side, 500 million eventually is going to only allow you to stake 200 Torus. Eventually, it's going to be even less because the costs are always going up in the system. But what this means is that as the supply expands, that means that for every 200 Torus or every 100 Torus, you're going to need 500 million. The amount of Titan X that's going to be needed to basically stake the whole supply is going to be astronomical and force a ton of Titan X through the system, burning a ton of Titan X. So the longer this system goes, the more powerful it actually gets over time. And not a lot of people, I don't think I've seen anyone really talking about that yet. No one's really dug into that. And I'll let you guys figure out just exactly how crazy that goes. But this is one of the most magical things where staking seems like it's just, you stake eventually. But the difficulty metric in the staking feature is its own monster as well over time. And it's going to hold the ROIs, which will allow people to potentially drive a ton of Titan X into the system, even if it's not through the creation side. I don't know if anyone has any thoughts or comments on what I just said. If not, I'll chime into what Revo is saying.
That's super powerful to bond the two together, man. Like I haven't seen it done before like this. It's really cool.
We'll see.
Do you have a good accounting function in there for people that want to just hold their stakes?
There is not a good accounting function. You get your 14-day grace period, and then you go into penalties, but you can never lose your principal. So what you put in is yours forever. You can't lose. Like if you put in like $1,000 in TitanX and you had $1,000 in Torus as your principal, you can't lose that. You're guaranteed to always get that no matter what. Same with your stake. You can never lose what you stake in the ecosystem or in the system.
I like that. I like that. Penalties. Users don't like penalties. It's good for the user.
In dollars or in TitanX?
Say that one more. What do you mean?
When you say principal, what are you referring to as principal?
I see. Okay. So what I mean is principal is if you come into the system, let me mention the Dapp here. And let's say you stake 999.2 Torus. That's your principal staked. If you go to the create side, what you created up front is your principal.
I'm with you.
So then that means at the end of your stake or creation, you're guaranteed to get this amount of tokens, no matter what. And only only what you've earned. So let's say you earn 8.5 million Torus. If you, for some reason, let all this go into penalties, you'd still be remainder with this. And what's cool though is 50% of the penalties are burnt, which makes Torus even more rare over time. Now, one thing I do want to touch on, the estimated ROI here. I want you guys to read this very closely. This is an estimation based on current participation in the system. So what that means is when the first person that comes in here is going to see an astronomically high ROI. It could be 1,000,000% ROI. It could be 10 million% ROI. Just if you're coming in here on the first day, the real ROI is going to start to come at the end of the first day, second day, Thursday, as most people come into the system and as the actual shares in the system stabilizes. So the reason I'm saying this is because for those of you wanting to do short, like seeing like 1,000,000% ROI and thinking, oh, I'm just going to do like, if I do a 1 day stake here, right? Or a 1 day creation. Let's do a 1 day. You know, it's like, wow, I could put in $30 and I can get $272,000 out. I mean, that's based on the current shares, right? So please, for the love of God, if you're going to do short games in Torus, you better know what you're doing and you better really be able to predict what's happening, know why the ROI is where it is, because there are going to be people, unfortunately, that are not going to, I mean, I'm going to try and reach them all, but that are not going to understand this and are going to see, holy crap, I can get, you know, a 10x in a day. And then the next person comes in and does an 88-day stake or creation, and they get 7.7 million shares. And all of a sudden now they only have 11 shares and they get nothing. And now they're either negative ROI by a lot, or, you know, they literally got nothing. So it's important to understand about this ROI. This is an estimation based on where everything is currently sitting, but the real ROI is going to come in down here in the active creation and stake tab. This is just an ROI to show you which action is currently the better action to take. So just want to put the disclaimer out there so people don't come in and hold the system to, hey, I saw 1,000,000% ROI and I went negative 40. You know, it's like you can make bad decisions in this system. You got to really know how to play it. So just want to put that out there.
Will people be able to do creation ladders and staking ladders? Like, will that strategy still be able to do that? Any wallet limitations or maximums?
So there's no wallet limitations or maximums. You can do as many as you like. There's no ladder function in Torus because
manually.
Totally. Yeah. You can make as many creations or stakes as you want, as many different lengths at any different time. And I mean, you know, that might be a really great strategy for people to consider, is doing the laddering. The only other thing I can think of to talk about here is on the testnet, ETH is going to be unavailable to use. So if you're coming in here and you're playing with Torus, you're not going to be able to use ETH until mainnet goes live. Now, one more quick point on that. I think someone was saying here, oh yeah, you buy Torus with TitanX or ETH, but it's just going to funnel through TitanX to do that. And the other question I saw here was, when was launch day? So again, launch day is going to come from 1,000 people in the Telegram, which, okay, if there's 500 people watching the stream now. Everyone go to t.me/Torus.win, which I'm just putting in the chat now. Join the Telegram. We need 1,000 members before Torus can go live on mainnet. Even if you mute the notifications and you never participate, I don't care. But just join if you're interested in playing ball in Torus with $1 or $1 million. I don't care how big or how small it is. If you're interested, please show support. And also share this stream out. Follow everyone on this stream as well. And remember that after this stream, in about 30 minutes time, we're going to be doing a voice chat in the Telegram to go over in more detail the testnet and everything. So I'm happy with this, guys. If you guys are cool with ending it here, what I'd love to hear from is before we go, what are you working on? What are you excited about? What do you see for the future of the ecosystem? And yeah, plug away anything you'd like to about what you're building, what you're working on, and yeah, let's bring it all to a close here.
I just want to say one thing before we get into that is I did check Titanic Premium because I wanted to see how much did Torus, I'm saying again, Hydra bring in the first week. And I'm checking here and I'm seeing 14.8 trillion Titanics.
Sweet.
That's pretty insane, man. So that data is straight from Titanic Premium. DM me if you want access.
Nice plug. Mike always with the data, man. Perfect. I'm going to just jump in here real quick. Yep. So Inferno X going to be the OFT version of Inferno. We're going to follow Titan X wherever it goes. So we need an OFT version to do that. We'll drop the burn paper Tuesday on the Weekly Blaze. Tune in. And we're going to have a lot of other people on there too. You're going to be there, aren't you, Graphics?
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
It'll be a fun one.
Awesome. And you guys too. Eric, Mike, James, if you guys are available, 3 p.m. UTC time. If you need a link, let me know. I'll get it to you. And yeah, let's get this streaming going again.
Let's go.
Did you say 3 p.m. UTC? 3 p.m.
Sorry, 10 p.m. 9 p.m. UTC. 3 p.m. my time. I'm sorry. I struggle.
It's okay. Just checking. Because I knew it couldn't be. I didn't think it could be that. So
I'm glad you caught that. Yeah. Good job. Thank you.
Mike.
So that'll be 7 or 8 a.m. That'll be 4 or 5 a.m. depending on which country I'm in. That's either stay up all night or get up early. So that's fine. No, go ahead. Take comments from the community, and then I'll do my piece.
I was only just gonna. While you guys are saying, I was just gonna highlight some comments that I was seeing that are great. One thing I'll say is thousands hard to ask. Now, one comment that I can say on this, because I've had a few people be like, "Are you sure?" Like 5 to 10 trillion Titanx coming into the protocol, like 1,000 coming in, 1,000 members in the Telegram. These are all big numbers. But the way I like to operate is shoot for the stars and hit the moon, or hit Mars, or hit, I don't know, whatever's closest to that star, So if you don't aim high, though, you might not ever reach it. And you know what? If you aim high like this, you never know. We might get to 2,000. We'll see. So let's put that out there. But James, I'd love to hear from you. What are you working on? What are you excited about? I know you got a lot cooking right now. You're working with Dude. You're working with Rich. Sounds like, you've got a lot on your plate.
Just one thing there, Cryptographics, to just jump in. You are aiming high and you want to hit Uranus. Is that correct?
Thank you. Yeah, exactly.
I was literally almost going to say that. So thank you, Mike, for saying that.
Shout out to Mike. James,
all right. So yeah, what are we building? So the Titan X 6-pack club that Mo named us when we were all on that stream. We're still not at the point where we can tell you what it is. All we can say that it is not a token, and it will greatly benefit every single protocol in Titan X which decides to tap on it. So that's the first thing. However, it is expansive. It's going to be on multi-EVM. It's going to be far and beyond where we are. It won't only be on Base and Ethereum. There's multiple EVMs that we're going to be on. And that's all I can say. I'm literally there's a group we can't say any more than that. We've got a very specific marketing plan about where we're able to talk about it, because people move very fast, and we just want to make sure that that we are first to do this. Now literally I can't say anything else, but these are 6 very, everyone's a founder. Every single one of us 6 are founders. The partnership's amazing. Everyone brings a strong talent to the team. The dude with all of Helios and Element 280. I mean, he's a legend in many people's minds. I would say I'm no legend, but I do know something good when I see it. Like when I see tokenomics, I know if it's good or not. I may not be able to rate the best tokenomics, but I know if it's good or if it's not. And like the business partnership piece, and like dealing with different parts of the business even outside of the build, I'm fairly well versed in that. A little bit of that came from my Web 2 days, corporate days. So I would say, so where are we? We're in May. I would say probably the 1st of June is when you're going to be able to start to see some actual information. And it's going to be, and it's there. I just have to be careful. I literally can't say anything else. So let's just wait until we can say more. But it is, we came from TitanX. We came from Fair Launch and the ethos and the build-ons and the bonded liquidity. All of those are in this platform. All of those. I'm sure Torus will be able to benefit from it too. So that's what I'd like to say. Thank you for that just short plug. Yeah, I'm not going to plug Uranus because I'm full. And I didn't do that on purpose. No, I mean, stop over to Uranus. It's called Pump Uranus, literally. If you want to build, like, say that you're a builder wannabe and you've heard, $10,000, $12,000, $15,000 even for a simple protocol. I don't have that kind of scratch. I got like $800. You can do it. Stop on over to Pump Uranus, and you can build on Pump Uranus. You will have fully audited code. You'll have mods that take care of your topic. You can have your own vibe in there. Like, you don't have to be like Smoke, and Smoke is really cool, Smoke the blunt, and Uranus is funny. You don't have to be that. You can be serious. You can be a cat or a turtle or a shark, whatever, and you'll have your own topic. And we just do a lot for you. It's kind of like a mini launch pad over there on Uranus. So that's that one. Thank you for the time. I came on here to listen and learn, and I really appreciate it. And I'm going to, even though it's late, I'm going to try to get in TestNet because it probably have to be a drip of Ethereum or something you got to get into, a faucet or something. Yeah.
There's a link in if you go to Torus.win, go to the white paper, there's the testnet page. Just go, as long as you have some Sepolia ETH. It takes some time to get that. There's other sources, but that's like the safest one. So it just depends on how people want to do. But hey, yeah, it's great to finally stream with you too, because I think this is the first time I've had you on at least my channel, which has been great pleasure. And so yeah, I'm looking forward to the next one as well.
Very nice. Thank
Eric.
you.
You're muted, my man.
Sorry. Yeah, we're working on something. We're streaming on Thursday, right? About this. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, we have a big partnership planned for DragonX. Big next step coming, and yeah, I'm honored to stream with you to announce that, man. So this is on Thursday. I'll be putting out some teaser stuff in the coming days, but yeah, it's just part of establishing DragonX to be adopted by some institutions, adopted by some companies, and kind of the next phase to making DragonX bigger. So it's going to be good. There's an announcement on Thursday about that. Should be good.
Yeah, you guys are going to want to watch that stream. I'm going to put we'll make a stream link in the next day or two, and we'll start putting it out there, but you guys are going to want to watch that stream. If you want to get excited about the future of this ecosystem and, some of the things you may or may not already be holding, you should probably watch that stream.
It's going to be good.
It's going to be great, man. Thanks. Mike? What do you got?
Yeah,
man?
so yeah, I mean, one thing I want to say is I have a very big bag of Sepolia ETH. So so if you need any, send me a DM, I'll shoot you some. The other thing is, I would say, is I think I mentioned that earlier, and is that it seems like there is definitely a lot of people who are underestimating the whole ecosystem, and I think I did mention earlier as well, as like, man, we have our own stablecoin in the ecosystem. You know what I mean? It's fucking crazy. You know, we have Aura X here, USDX. USDX is the platform, and the stablecoin. Yeah, we have a multi-collateral lending protocol here, man, and it's working flawlessly up to now. And yeah, it's crazy, you know. It's in the whole ecosystem. So I'm pretty bullish on that. The other thing, obviously, is I'm working on Titanic Sub. I did mention earlier as well. One thing I really want to have is the individual pages for all the projects, because for every project there's some very specific stuff. Let's say, you know, like for Dragon X, the future payouts, for instance, right? And another project, it has some other things which people want to see, and things like that. So anyway, this is something which I'm working on, and hopefully this week, at some point this week or so, I'm gonna definitely launch like at least some of the basic stuff, and then adding in all the other stuff in there as well. And I'm working on the portfolio page as well on Titanic Sub. Yeah, so if anything, I'll tweet something out. I always, when I work on something, I always like try to show a bit of progress to see that something is happening. So looking forward to that. Anyway, yeah, all in all, man, looking forward to Torus. I'm gonna play around. I'm gonna play around in testnet and give any feedback if I have any.
Please do. Thanks, man. I always appreciate all the work you're putting in. TESTNET Sub's amazing, and we're pretty lucky to have you and all of us, all you builders that have made this ecosystem what it is already. So, I mean, we're pretty lucky to have the community we do. So, with that though, Utah, Eric, Mike, James, thank you guys for being here. Chat, thank you guys for being here. Thank you for your questions. I'm really excited for the future of this ecosystem. If you haven't already, again, go hop in the Torus Telegram at t.me/Torus.win. Again, I put it in the comments. It should be in the description. And have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Happy Mother's Day to any mothers watching. Go tell your mothers you love them. And also get outside. Enjoy life. Hang out with cool people. And I'll see you guys very soon in the next one. Peace.